Hello everybody, I'm Dustin Benzel and welcome to a discussion of Serena and Clemont's Pokemon for Pokemon XY anime discussion. I know it feels a little cheap to just lump this all in one episode. I did address all of Ash's Pokemon separately, and I realize that's not exactly fair, but like I've said before, Ash is the only character that I really care about. I do enjoy seeing the other characters. I like to see them develop, but I'm not going to address them as much within my topics unless I get a lot more subscribers that force me to talk about other aspects of Pokemon outside of Ash more in depth and stuff. So let's see who has the least amount of Pokemon. Serena. So we're going to discuss Serena first. Now, Serena currently has a Fennekin and a Pancham, and for one thing that is confirmed is Serena's Fennekin is going to evolve into Braixen really soon. I don't know if that's going to be episode 64, but episode 64 being a Fennekin versus Delphox episode makes it likely. One thing to note is that Fennekin is going to evolve before Ash's battle with Clemont. So it seems very likely that episode 64 is going to be Serena's Fennekin's evolution into a Braixen. Now, I've basically gotten over it, but it still annoys me to this day that they decided to give Serena a Fennekin. Now, I don't know if it's because Fennekin is the cutest starter in terms of feminine and feminism or femininity or whatever you want to call it in regards to doing like showcases and performances, and but the thing that annoys me is that it would have been really nice if they didn't go the typical route, because let's face it, Fennekin going to Serena is the most stereotypical, most likely obvious choice of all time. I'm not joking. I am not joking, people. It was so obvious that the fact that they actually went with it is a little ridiculous, in my opinion. I will admit that the Serena in my game, actually, maybe that is her name, I don't know, but the Serena in my games does has Fennekin, and Serena and Callum? The Callum in my games has a Greninja, or had a Froakie, so, I did go the typical route, but, in some aspects it made sense. When I have Pokemon games and I have, like, pairing generations, I tend to, like, alternate between being the male character and the female character, just for the fun of it, just so I don't be the same character throughout the whole entire generation, or the same gender of character. But anyway, so the thing that disappoints me is that they actually went with Fennekin. The reason why is because it would have been so amazing to see Ash with a Fennekin, a female Fennekin. It would have been just so perfect to see, but they gave it to Serena. Now, as I'm saying this, I'm like, well, then what should have been Serena's starter? It should have been a Chespin. All the female traveling companions, for the most part, has never had a serious grass type, with the exception of May's Bulbasaur / Venusaur. Although that really doesn't matter, because it's not like Bulbasaur really did all that much, especially since it was dumped with Ash's Bulbasaur at the beginning of the Battle Frontier. Let's see, I can't think of anyone else who had any grass Pokemon. Misty didn't have anything. May had Bulbasaur / Venusaur. Although Venusaur didn't happen until the reunion of DP with her Wallace Cup appearance, and there was a poor Venusaur attacking, like, I think it was either an Azurill or a Marill or something like that. Dawn didn't have any grass Pokemon. Iris didn't have any grass Pokemon, and Serena currently doesn't have any grass Pokemon. So the thing that really annoys me is that there hasn't been a serious grass Pokemon as a starter within the actual series, which is kind of weird that they're just doing this. You know, Misty had her water Pokemon. She didn't have a starter Pokemon technically, but she did have water Pokemon. And then we have May, whose starter was Torchic / Combuskin. And then we had Dawn, who had Piplup. Then we had Iris, who basically had Axew, which was a dragon type, so that was a difference there. And then what do we have for 6th gen? We have Serena with a Fennekin, as opposed to a Chespin. So Chespin got a little screwed up that way, and I'll explain why when I discuss Clemont's Chespin in particular. Now, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but Fennekin is my favorite starter this generation. Fennekin, Braixen, Delphox. It's just an amazing, cute Pokemon, and I enjoy seeing it simply because Fennekin and Braixen and Delphox are just you know, they're like based off of witches and magic and stuff. They're fire psychic, or at least Delphox is. So it's really nice to see. And, you know, it's really cool to see that Fennekin is a starter and it can learn like Psyshock and all really cool psychic moves early in within its stage, as opposed to waiting until like Braixen or Delphox before it actually learns anything. But now Serena's Fennekin really hasn't really done that much, outside of being the cute, typical Fennekin, which I wish belonged to Ash instead, but whatever. One of the weird things is that early in the series, I don't know about now, but Serena's Fennekin kind of had a problem with Ash. I think Fennekin actually used, like, Ember attack on Ash or whatever, and I think it was Ember, I'm not really sure. But I think it was like some sort of attack. I knew it was like breathing flames at Ash, but, you know, and then there's the whole Fennekin wants to be clean aspect, you know, and most of the time Fennekin is just a happy, cute looking Pokemon that just shows up, basically. Pancham seems to be a little bit more interesting to me, even though I prefer Fennekin as a Pokemon itself rather than Pancham, but I would think that Serena's Pancham is a little bit better than Serena's Fennekin, simply because Pancham seems to have that rough personality that it has. You know, it likes to do something, but it also has like this bad attitude. If you remember the capture episode, Pancham wasn't exactly friendly, you know, kind of had like this bad attitude. It's like, oh, leave me alone, you know, or something of that nature. So yeah, and then Pancham has like a very cool moveset. It has like Stone Edge, Dark Pulse, you know, things that I wish Ash's Pokemon had, but, you know, whatever. So there's that, and, you know, Serena, you know, didn't catch Pancham until a long time. I don't know exactly when, I can't remember when, but it was definitely, I think, possibly after the 3rd gym. Let's see. It's definitely before the 4th gym. That's definite. That's definitely sure. So I think actually it was just right after the 3rd gym that Serena caught Pancham, which is a little weird because, you know, Ash already has 5 Pokemon and Clemont technically has 4 Pokemon. It's a little weird to see Serena was so lagging on Pokemon that they decided to give Pancham. You know, I'm actually not exactly disappointed with Pancham either. You know, there was a person on a forum that suggested Serena and Pancham from the start, you know, since I didn't really care if Ash got Pancham or not. Considering the whole dark fighting Pangoro, so I thought, yeah, you know, Serena and Pancham would be interesting, but the fact that Serena and Pancham actually are a combination is really cool. You know, I like the whole glasses thing that Pancham has. It's not like it wears them like normal. He just wears it as a accessory, or an accessory, like some people, if you've seen, I think of like some women, or I don't know if men do this, but there are like some women out there that when they're like talking, they have their sunglasses like this or something like that. That's kind of how Pancham wears its sunglasses all the time. It's never it never wears them like actual sunglasses. All it does is it just wears it as a decoration or an accessory. So that's really nice. The weird thing about that though is Pancham's actually male, so I'm assuming males do that too. I mean, I guess, I don't know. What do I know? I don't do that. I usually don't wear sunglasses because, I have to wear glasses, but, just seeing other people wearing glasses, or wearing sunglasses, never actually seen them talking with their sunglasses above. I think usually, well, now that I think about it, I may have seen examples of, anyway, that's completely irrelevant, So that's Serena's Pokemon. Yeah, there wasn't a lot to talk about, which is why I prefer Ash's Pokemon, because they actually get discussion.
Welcome to another edition of Catching Dustin Off Guard.
Oh, hi! Oh, there you are. I see you. Well, yeah, I know this is kind of a weird transition. I'm sorry that I cut through the Pokemon videos, but I decided that I was going to cut the video real quick and just let you know that there are some interesting things about the Pokemon anime to look forward to. This is between Serena and Clemont's video. Again, I'm sorry that this is actually being sorry that this is an interruption, but yeah, there were some titles that were revealed recently, and I just wanted to discuss those real quick. I was going to do text, but I might as well mention this and mention a little bit something. So what do we have so far? The next title after the episode where Slugoo is episode 65 of XY, the one that I said Slugoo was a broadcast Pokemon. It is actually called Interwar Turtle and Raichu. Slugoo does its best. So yeah. Alrighty then. So yeah. That is when Tierno is supposed to show up, because we see there's an image I'll probably show you. There is an image somewhere around here, and it'll show Tierno with Wart Turtle and Raichu, as well as you'll see some sort of glowy glow thing, and I'll have to assume that is in fact Slugoo evolving into Gooter, but it's not exactly 110% confirmed, but we'll see what's going on. Alright, so, but first off, I want to mention something real quick. The next week's episode, I'm pretty sure I'm going to upload this after this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to upload this before the next Thursday or the next Thursday with Pokemon, and I have to say that Luxio is indeed confirmed to evolve in that episode, because we see Clemont holding on to a Pokemon. And I think the transition of the preview that we see, it actually shows that it was Luxio, and then the next thing you know, we see this glowing form, and Luxio is riding on top of a Pokemon. And again, based on the titles so far, let me run through the titles before we talk about Fennekin real quick. Okay, the next episode after the Slugoo, which is apparently the Pyroar episode, which actually might be for the special, with the Elaine and Marin or whatever, with the Chespin and Charizard. I think it's for the Mega Evolution special. We actually have, the episode is Criminal Investigation at Lumio City, Clembot versus Black Clembot. That's not really something interesting, but I do expect that to start the gym battle between Ash and Clemont at the very end, possibly. Maybe. I guess we'll see. just a little bit of information about that. Apparently, it is, I think, Team Rocket heavy. There is Nurse Joy, who arrested Clemont, because apparently robots are people within the Pokemon anime. So, then there's the whole, Clemont is apparently doing bad. So, Black Clemont may be something that Team Rocket has made themselves. I guess we'll have to see. I think Blaziken Mask, or Clemont's and Bonnie's father in disguise might be in that episode too. Guess we'll have to see. Then after that, we have Lumio's gym match, Ash versus Clemont, which is the gym battle, and that will happen in March. So fully expect Ash versus Clemont to happen in March. So then after that, we have Mega Evolution is being targeted, the bond with Garchomp, which this episode apparently revolves around Sycamore's Garchomp, and we might actually see a Mega Garchomp. Possibly. Who knows? I guess we'll see. Who knows? Since this is Mega Evolution related, who knows? Maybe Ash will get a Mega Ring at this particular moment. I mean, we don't see any reason to believe that, but it might be possible. So anyway, let me retrack real quick the Lumious gym match, Ash versus Clemont. We already discussed this. The gym, we don't know what Ash's third Pokemon is, but Ash is using Pikachu and Goodra, and Clemont is definitely using Luxray, Heliolisk, and Bunnelby. Now, I've already explained that in other episodes, but just wanted to get you a quick review of that. Apparently, Bunnelby will be using some sort of electric type move during that gym battle. It looks like Wild Charge, so we'll see what's going on there. So anyway, sorry about this little interruption, but I felt this was a little bit better than just putting a black screen and putting text on it. So thank you. Oh, I almost forgot. I should also mention that also the reason why Fennekin is likely to evolve in episode 64, Fennekin versus Delphox, is because the titles that I listed don't exactly imply anything about Fennekin. So Fennekin is clearly not going to get any other focused episode before the gym battle between Ash and Clemont, and we know by the preview, we saw Braixen in the stands of that particular episode, that most definitely Braixen is going to evolve before the gym league, or the gym battle. And they're with 65 and 66, and I believe 67. See, Sliggoo, Pyroar maybe, and nope. So there's only a couple of episodes before the gym battle. So that means that, yes, it is almost guaranteed that Fennekin will definitely be evolving in the Fennekin versus Delphox episode. Now, just to give some leeway here, I suppose, hypothetically, even though it wouldn't make much sense at all, Fennekin could possibly evolve in the episode right before the gym battle, after Sliggoo evolves, of course, into Goodra. The Clemont versus Black Clemont episode, I guess it's theoretically possible for Fennekin to evolve there. It doesn't make any sense, but I guess it's still possible. So anyway, sorry for this interruption. Thank you for watching, and now we will go back to talking about Clemont's Pokemon, since I pretty much put this between Serena and Clemont. So thank you for watching this interruption. I will see you later.
This has been Catching Dustin Off Guard.
So let's go move on to Clemont, because I'm kind of done with Serena here. So let's talk about the Pokemon that we saw Clemont having. I'm going to ignore Heliolisk and Magnemite and Magneton and any other Pokemon that Clemont actually has, because they're not exactly current relevant. They are relevant in that they are notable, and I just noted them right then and there. But other than that, not a lot to discuss since they're not on the team. So in the order of captures, what we have Bunnelby. We'll discuss Dedenne as well, although we'll just link it more to Bonnie. Then we have Chespin, and then we will discuss Lexio. So let's discuss Bunnelby, the first Pokemon that we saw Clemont. Now, honestly, I think everyone, for the most part, when we first saw that Clemont was going to have a Bunnelby, it was going to be a little confusing, especially since I think at that particular time we knew that Bunnelby was going to evolve into a ground type, possibly. I'm not really sure when that happened, but it was definitely weird to see that Bunnelby is a Pokemon that evolves into a ground type Pokemon, and that Clemont, an electric type gym leader, actually has it. But, you know, it actually existing for the most part does somewhat make sense. You know, especially since Bunnelby does take care of ground types, or Bunnelby does take care of electric types in the gym battle, and I don't know if there's any Pokemon that would be effective against electric types that would be weak against ground with dual typing, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, I think Bunnelby was just given just because it was a nice looking Pokemon, and they wanted to give that as a particular staple to Clemont's Pokemon. Bunnelby, there's really not a lot to say. It's kind of a cool Pokemon. I wouldn't exactly say Bunnelby is cute because it has that kind of rough design for a bunny creature. And compared to like Buneary, which is very adorable, cute, Bunnelby just is pretty rough. I would say like if Buneary is like the high class bunny Pokemon, while like Bunnelby is just the dirtier, down to earth version of a bunny Pokemon. So that's why Bunnelby isn't exactly all that exciting to look at. So Bunnelby doesn't really have much of a personality. I think there are times where it has been excited at times, but yeah, Bunnelby hasn't really done all that much as a Pokemon. You know, the one thing that I will say that's really neat and cool is that when Bunnelby actually uses Mud Shot, there's all those ball things or whatever, and it just launches at the Pokemon. I think that's really neat. But outside of that, there's really nothing. So let's just jump into Dedenne, I guess. Dedenne is the traveling Pokemon for the generation. The one outside of Pikachu that's in every episode. There wasn't one for third generation, and first generation there wasn't one throughout the entire thing. But it started with Piplup and Axe. Well, Piplup didn't happen until much later, but for the most part, Piplup and Axew just started the trend, and Dedenne just continues that trend. And I gotta say, Dedenne is pretty cute. You know, when I first saw that Dedenne was gonna be a part of the team, I was a little possibly a little disappointed, because I thought they were gonna at least be a little bit creative, since starting with Dawn and Iris, they were always giving the electric rodent type Pokemon to the cast. So I was a little disappointed that they were giving Dedenne on the main cast. But, you know, Dedenne actually works pretty well, even though it looks similar to Pikachu in a lot of ways. And it's kind of like a mousy, it's more of a gerbil, but it's an electric rodent Pokemon, you know, and it kind of looks like it looks like a cousin to Pichu and stuff, and Dedenne has that fairy type going for it. So even though Dedenne, for the most part, is a little strange Pokemon, it actually works really well within the team. You know, we have some moments with Pikachu and Dedenne, and we also have Bonnie, who actually has a Pokemon that she can use if need be. So yeah, there's really cool aspects about this, about Dedenne, that you can overlook the fact that it's just an electric rodent that's on the team. Because Dedenne seems like it has a lot of personality in terms of the other Pokemon. You know, there were cute moments where it would just sleep in Bonnie's bag, and, you know, there's the whole nuzzle quirk that I think I've addressed in one of my other videos, probably the previous video to this one, if I remember correctly. So yeah, there's that whole aspect of Dedenne just being cute and adorable, and Dedenne isn't actually annoying at all. It isn't pushed on it. Let me put it this way. In comparison to Iris's Axew, and even Dawn's Piplup, I much prefer anything to revolve around Dedenne. I don't know if Dedenne is just so much more cuter and much more adorable in comparison with Piplup or even Axew, but Dedenne is a pretty cute Pokemon, and it's pretty adorable, you know, and it I'm perfectly fine with it. It's one of the only Pokemon that I really like that's not part of Ash's team, you know. So there's that. Okay, next we'll discuss Chespin. Now, I know I've addressed this in one of my other videos. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I am a little disappointed that they gave Chespin to Clemont, especially since it really made no sense whatsoever. And the only reason why I think they lumped Chespin with Clemont is simply to spread out the starters. I'm not saying that Ash should have gotten Chespin, because I'm going to say no to that. Even though there is the whole, in the beginning I did want Ash with all 3 starters, but the thing that I preferred, however, after the series started happening was I wanted Serena with Chespin. Now the thing is, previously I wanted Ash to have all 3 starters because this, as I said before, this is the first generation that I liked this all starters pretty much equally. Now the order may be Delphox, Greninja, and Chestnut first to last, but for the most part I really enjoy the starters this generation. They're just really amazing and well done, in my opinion, in comparison to all the other generations. Nostalgia be damned. The only other generation that might be able to compete with 6th gen in terms of equal like of the starters is probably 2nd generation, but I wouldn't exactly say the starters in 2nd gen were actually that unique. They were kind of bland, but I still kind of liked a lot of Meganium, Feraligatr, and Typhlosion. I pretty much like them equally. I would only prefer Feraligatr simply because of the 3, it's like the most ferocious looking one, and you know, it would just be cool to have a Feraligatr. Typhlosion and Meganium would just be extra bonuses to me. But anyway, that's that. So in the beginning, when I wanted Ash with the Chespin, the thing that, as I've addressed before, the irony in all of this is that I wanted Ash's Chespin to be an inventor. In the beginning, when I chose Ash with all 3 Pokemon, with all 3 starters, and I gave them all personalities. Fennekin would have been the loyal Pokemon to Ash. It would have been female. It would never leave be his side and would get upset if Ash tried to get Fennekin to go after other Pokemon, possibly. And then Froakie in the beginning would have been like that comic relief. It would have acted all tough and everything, and it would have gotten knocked out easily by giant opponents, because Froakie would battle big opponents and it would slowly develop that one. I prefer Ash's real Ash's Froakie personality, by the way. And Chespin, what I envisioned for Ash's Chespin in the beginning of the series was that it was an inventor. Ash would be in a little area and he would run into a Chespin, and it would be an inventor type Pokemon, you know. You would see Chespin going around picking up like twigs and berries or whatever and leaves, and it would like create these weird contraptions, and then something would happen and Ash would catch it, and then during battle Chespin would actually come up with these innovative move combinations that Ash wouldn't think of at the time. He'd be like, Chespin, do something, and then Chespin would come out with this really cool combination because it would have that inventor type. The thing that's ironic about this is that Clemont is actually an inventor, and they actually gave Clemont a Chespin. I mean, it's not completely ironic because Chespin isn't exactly an inventor. It's actually a glutton. I'm not really sure I'm okay with that. But anyway, now I don't exactly have a real problem with Clemont's Chespin outside of the fact that the pairing between Clemont and Chespin really don't make much sense to me. You can disagree with me, but for the most part, it just never made any sense to me that Chespin would go to Clemont. As for Chespin's personality, I really don't have much of a problem with it. You know, I don't really like the glutton part of it, but, you know, Chespin seems like a fun, okay, pretty much Pokemon, you know? I wouldn't exactly say Chespin is entirely notable, like some of the other Pokemon within the main cast, like Dedenne, but, Chespin isn't really a bad Pokemon. In fact, even if you were to say that it's like Oshawott, Chespin is actually a much more milder and much more likable version of Ash's Oshawott, which I couldn't stand at all, especially the dub. Now, Mijumaru, the Japanese version of Oshawott, now, it had a cute voice. I'll at least give Mijumaru that, but its antics were really annoying. Chespin has a much milder approach, but maybe have similar traits with Ash's Oshawott, but because Chespin is milder in its personality and its certain traits, it actually comes out to be a lot more likable than even Ash's Oshawott. But Ash's Oshawott isn't on the team, so we don't have to compare and contrast all that much. So, yeah. So, like I said, I'm not exactly happy that Clemont has a Chespin. I would have probably preferred Fennekin if all the stars had to be distributed, just so Serena could have Clemont as her starter. Wait, no, hold on a minute. No, wait. I think I said that all kinds of wrong. What I meant was Chespin as Serena's starter. There we go. Well, I was like, wait a minute. No, that's not what I meant to say at all. Bonnie, stop proposing to Serena. That's not what I meant. It's not what I meant, Bonnie. Be quiet. Clemont, use your APOM arm. Get rid of Bonnie. Stop ruining my accidental joke here. Bonnie. Go be cute and dress up as a ninja and play with Dedenne and Pikachu. No proposing to Serena, alright? That's so not what I was talking about. So, anyway, let's jump into Luxio, because we need to get away from that error that I made. So, what we have here is Luxio. Now, ignoring Dedenne, because I liken it more to Bonnie's Pokemon, even if it's officially Clemont's, is the Pokemon that I like the most on Clemont's team is, in fact, Luxio. I'm not going to say that Luxio is actually I'm not going to say that Luxio is a notable Pokemon per se, in that it's very noticeable when it's within the series, because Luxio hasn't really shown up all that much. But the thing is the fact that it's a Luxio. And this is important because the Shinx line is one of my favorite electric type lines, at least within the 4th generation. You know, I didn't really care for Pachirisu, and even though Rotom was cool, I really liked Luxray, and I think I actually, within one of my Diamond and Pearl games, well, not Pearl, but Diamond and Platinum games, I think I've used Luxray quite a bit or whatever. Probably in my Platinum. But I had some issues. I think I lost one of my Platinums and had to buy a new one or something like that, or was it Diamond? So I don't really remember. It's been a long time. I'd have to look at the games. But yeah, anyway, so I really liked the Luxray line, and I think it's amazing that they gave it to Clemont, you know, because I actually prefer it over Manectric, you know. So yeah, there's all that aspect of Luxio. Now, of Clemont's Pokemon, Luxio is confirmed to evolve into Luxray because Luxray is going to be used in the gym battle with Ash versus Clemont, and we see a moment with Luxray. So Luxray is confirmed for the gym battles. So very soon, probably in episode 62, which is in about 2 weeks from now, depending on when I upload this, probably less than 2 weeks from now, if I upload this on a different day. Now, Luxio, like I said, isn't really as notable as the other Pokemon per se, but I really like it, and I think of Clemont's team, it is my favorite. I still enjoy Heliolisk. Heliolisk is still a pretty cool Pokemon, but it's not part of the team, so I can't exactly really compare Luxio / Luxray with Heliolisk. So yeah, so there you have it. I didn't really want to discuss their moves because their moves aren't really all that exciting, and I don't really care. As for development of them, I'm not really going to see much development, I think. I see Braixen, Fennekin, or Serena's Braixen possibly learning some new moves when it evolves into Braixen to help with Pokemon showcases or Pokelons or Pokethalons or whichever you're familiar with. Luxray will probably learn some new moves. As for the future, I don't expect Clemont to capture any other Pokemon because he's pretty much full. I can't imagine any other Pokemon unless he brings Heliolisk with him. But I guess we'll have to see what's going on with that. For Serena, I have no idea what her next Pokemon is going to be. With Shauna having a Flabébé, I just don't think Serena's going to have any Pokemon like that. So, I'm thinking maybe she can get a Spritzy or a Swirlix, maybe? Possibly. I guess we'll just have to see. So, this does it for this particular long episode. It's like twice as long as the character discussions of Ash's Pokemon, and I discussed all I could think of. Everything that was relevant. I discussed a little bit about the Pokemon themselves, whether or not they were notable or not. Maybe not for everyone, but anyway, so that covers Ash's companions. If you want me to discuss anything in particular in more depth, just let me know, and maybe I will add it to the list. But for now, I will see you in my next video, and I will, I don't know what my next video after this is going to be. I guess we'll just have to see. So, I'll see you later. Goodbye.